Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Bozmos2, where we are playing Chaco. It is turn 35. And we get to see, do we get to play the game more? Or is it basically a nail in a coffin for us? It's not that dire yet, but it could be. We'll see. Alright, so, to kind of kick things off, we have started off by summoning a whole butt-ton of ant warriors. So these are 8 per cast, right? 4 of the spear variants, 4 of the sword variants, the sword and shield variants. So that is 4... That's bad math. 32. Fucking ants. A lot of ants. And bears are 7 per, but we're doing them with people who have more than enough to get the additional bonus. So we're getting 8 bears a pop, so 16 bears. Quite a few additional warriors added into things. Very excited about that. So we've got a couple of battles. Probably the most important one is the one where we have sent a Wuya attacking Chaco, so we'll leave that for last. We get attacked in the Kingdom of Dara. This is a small group of Reavers led by a bitch mother. I don't think we can take down one of these. Yeah, that's a full wipe. We lose Verdant Step. That was actually where we had been on top of his fort, so not really a loss there. We actually get to witness a battle between Old Man and Kengobia in the Takregus. It's just a shit ton of foresters. Axes, daggers, short bows, ambidextrous. These guys are pretty cool. They're okay. You know, for very cheapness. Very cheapness. Much cheap. Wow. Jesus, they just unloaded on that freaking commander. Holy shit. Okay, we attacked Midria. Or no, we got attacked in Midria. Nothing really here. Swap, swap. We attacked in Talito. This is a Mong Katsina against a bunch of undead. He does Iron Skin, Blessing, Temper Armor, Personal Regeneration, and he's got a Halberd of Might, Dragon Helmet, Kithrionic Lion Pelt, Burning Pearl. Pretty good, pretty good. Really? That's only a... Oh, yeah, it's only a length 3 weapon. Really? Interesting. Probably give, like, pikes to these people so they can repel better. Can't repel against the undead, though, so it doesn't matter. Just cutting. And the big deal here is that the undead have such bad magic resistance that it's very, very hard for them to get past the Vine Shield. So this should be all but guaranteed. I mean, even if it wasn't, right? This guy has 32 protection. Like, it's not like he's a old softy or something. But he does not have a lot of AoE, so that is a bit of a problem. This is very slow. This is absolutely where, like, some cheap frost brands or things like that would be dope. Okay, we win. So gain some kills there. We also attack in Smesia. Got a Wuya here up against some Lady Warriors, which are actually pretty dope. Decent protection, decent defense skill, decent hitting broadsword, very good armor, kind of like the Oriande Warriors. Very good armor, very good at taking buffs, protection buffs, right? Oof. The only thing about them is they're human, so bad HP in the late game means that they get, you know, melted by flames from the sky, that type of thing. Otherwise, they would be pretty dope. Lady archers are basically, I think, just Amazonian archers. And then there is a Femini queen here. Is okay. Got really good defense. Probably not going to be anything against a stacked up Ouya, though. An earth power, flying shield, coming on in hot. Pop out. Well, all right then. Assassination. Assassination battlefield. All right, we're done with that. Smacia wins. All right, we get to witness Atlantis attacking Finascandia. See how this goes. Okay. So we've got a couple of Kings of the Deep, Basalt Kings. Or, well, I guess Basalt Kings are a later version? Or the Kings of the Deep, the later version? I don't remember. We got some Coral Queens. We got a bunch of War Shamblers, basically. And War Shamblers are pretty dope, right? War Shamblers have the Poisonous Glaive. It hits really fucking hard. They've got good HP, decent protection, decent stats all around. War Shamblers are just dope. Got a bunch of Mages of the Deep. Up against not really a lot here. Some Javelineers, some Undead, a couple of Guapas. I'm assuming... Oh, nope. This is just the Spirit Moose. Is this... Troll Mama the Crone. This is Finascandia's god with a true shot longbow. Interesting. Alright. I'm assuming not a whole lot's going to happen here. A bunch of ice elementals. That's fair. It's F. Alright, well, the ice elementals are going to make short work of those Javelineers with the trampling. Once those War Shamblers get in, it's basically a one-shot kill for just about everything. See, here's a problem. You absolutely need to have more things on attack rear. Rather, you know, because you could see a lot of those War Shamblers were moving up towards the walls, right? Absolutely need to make sure you're attacking rear with some of your squads so that some of the people, I'm sure some of them were, right? But this is just a notation. I'm sure some of them were. 3 War Shamblers dead. Very easy, good victory for Atlantis. Nicely done. All right, we've got our moment of truth. Battle in Chaco. Okay. Oh, my heart is racing here. We've got Ouya 5 coming in hot. Firebrand, Lead Shield, Dragon Helmet, Kithrionic Lion Pelt, Boots of the Messenger, Stone Burb, Lodestone Amulet. Up against a whole fucking army. Alright. I mean... we're gonna watch it happen. Iron Will comes up. Okay. A couple of wooden warriors come out, and the soul slaying begins. Oh god. Okay, we survived round 1 of Soul Slay. We survived round 2 of Soul Slay. We survived round 3 of Soul Slay. We survived round 4 of Soul Slay. Okay. Alright. Surviving round 4 of Soul Slay actually means that we're probably good on Soul Slays for a while, because the AI is now going to default to scripting is done, and now the AI is going to default to buffing the shit out of themselves until basically there are no more buffs that they can do, and occasionally they might start throwing out some Soul Slays then. So now we have to worry about the Stray Soul Slay, And at our 32 protection, we have to worry about dying. So we get surrounded. We're getting attacked. Looks like we're doing okay. The Gog Reavers, right? They are not very high magic resistance, not very high defensive statistics, but they hit real fucking hard, and they have a bunch of attacks. So they are very dangerous to us. You can see we are regenerating some. Zoom in over here. So we got stuck in there. I'm going to speed up just a little bit. Some Wooden Warriors, some Body Ethereal coming out. Iron Warriors, Temperflesh, Luck, Temperflesh, Iron, Holy Avengers, Holy Avengers. We're doing pretty good here. Doing pretty good. Ooh, taking some damage. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Oh, okay, we heal back up. We're okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. They've been casting for a while. 198 fatigue. See the popping? Pop, 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 pop. Alright. Mission accomplished there. Mission accomplished there. We have popped the communion. Now, anything else is just icing on the cake. We're getting some paralyzes thrown out. Those are really dangerous. If we get hit by one of those, we're probably dead. So far, so good. Gonna go ahead and speed it up. More Wooden Warriors, whole bunch of cheat fates, more paralyzes, Iron Wills coming out from them. We took a bunch of damage there, but 6 regeneration and enough Vine Shields and enough repels. Actually, I wonder how much we are repelling. Let's take a look here. Unit overview. Where are you? Should be able to sort by commanders and side and all that good stuff. That's not going to be like the last. Repel. Was repelled. Most of these aren't actually getting repelled. Well, actually, no, a lot of them are. Repelled, 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 repelled. Some of them are getting through, right? Bone Fiend hit the... Oh, those Bone Fiends because they're undead, right? So they're not getting repelled. But a lot of the regular ones are getting repelled. Gog Reavers are getting repelled. Soldier Priests are getting repelled. Pretty good. Okay. So, this is going really, really well for us. This is going ridiculously well for us. I'm still, obviously, I still don't want my Wuya to die, but even if my Wuya died at this point, it would still be worth it. We have broken the communion, and we've easily gotten like 50 plus kills at this point, right? So definitely worthwhile. Ooh, that's dangerous. We're getting some panics thrown in there. Panic always, I never see panic work for me. Well, that's a lie. I've seen it work. I always feel like it sucks, but sometimes it scores the victory, right? Some mind burns coming out, paralyzes coming out still. Nothing sticking. 29 MR, man. 29 MR. We just routed a bunch of the soldier priests. I gotta say, with the amount lost on the field right now, I'm actually really surprised. Well, he's got really high morale. Experience. He's got Divine Blessing. He has Blessed. Divine Spell plus Blessed. Oh, he actually, yeah, he has additional morale on his Blessing. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's interesting. Yeah, these guys are very high morale. Still, I would think, right, like these guys, I would think more of them would be routing, but they're not. They're holding. But that just means I'm killing more of them, and then it happens. The armies of Chaco are now routed. That is so unfortunate. Yep. Okay. And now a lot of them are routing, and I'm going to get off first, except... Except they finally get through. They finally get through. Most of his army is now routed or dead. And finally, at the end, they hit me with a... When I am routed, and I've got one, maybe, 3 or 4 people that I'm going to kill and then run off the battlefield. That is when I get paralyzed. Paralyzed 27. The problem is I still regenerate, right? I still regenerate. I'm not repelling anymore, but I'm still regenerating. I'm still vine shielding. And now the armies of Ind are routed. And everything flees. And I am still paralyzed. As everything else begins to run, my vine shield runs out, and everything else begins to flee off of the battlefield. Now, I had a mini heart attack, I will admit, that it was at this point. I don't know why these guys didn't just die. They're undead. They have no undead leadership. They should be dead, right? They should have just decayed at this point. But it's okay because they have no undead leadership here. They are going to auto decay in the garrison and not be able to trap me in. So I was super worried that I was gonna get trapped by these 2 fucking undead guys, but that's not the case. We did it. The plan fucking worked. The plan fucking worked. We survived the Soul Slay barrage, and the fucking luck there. The luck to go through that whole battle, ignoring the Soul Slays, ignoring the paralysis, ignoring all of the other effects. Really, those are the 2 main effects that we're panicked about. But ignoring those effects, and then at the very end, killing so many people, surviving, right? Like, the protection, the vine shield, the regeneration, the temper flesh, all of it, the repelling, all of it working exactly how we were wanting it to work, right? Super, super happy about that. Worked beautifully. And then at the very end, we get paralyzed just so that we can't run from the battlefield, and then everything else runs from the battlefield before we make it off. That was about as perfect as things go, aside from just wiping out the fucking army on your own, 142 kills. Of that 302 army. I don't know how this really happened. I guess from retreating. We retreated into Chaco. But I don't really know. We killed 142. 12 of the Abbot Sages died to the Communion. I guess the rest of this that died are probably the Bone Fiends. And the... I guess there were Soulless there, obviously. Right? So those are the ones that make up the rest. Because they didn't have anything to, like, do friendly fire to kill themselves with. Right? So we killed 142. And that was mostly the Soldier Priests, the Gog Reavers. And some Bone Fiends. But then on top of that, more Bone Fiends died from the lack of undead leadership, and then the Abbot Sages died as well. This is a pretty big loss for End. And because of, we'll take a look at this real quick. Because he attacked here in the Kingdom of Dara, right? It created a scenario where his army routed into 2 different locations. 2 different locations that I don't think he can cross now, because he's got, I don't know. This map has freaked me out. I've seen some weird shit on it, but in theory, I don't know why, but in theory, he can't cross between these 2 locations. They're not frozen for some reason. I don't know why they're not frozen, but they're not frozen for some reason. So that's a big fucking deal for us. That was a very, very big win. That means we might not be... I mean, that doesn't mean that it's likely that we will take a victory in this war off of the back of that. And off of the battle in Ablak, right? The lucky win that we had with our archers, right? It is likely that we will take a victory from those 2 battles. But it is still possible that that In does significant damage to us, that we get caught out, etc., right? So, by no means done. But yeah, very, very big deal for us. Unexpected event in Esquania, increased turmoil and increased unrest. Unexpected event in Temiglia, minus Dominion. We're under siege in Chaco, except we're not actually under siege in Chaco. It says that, it gives us that scenario, because in theory, there were still people there, but there aren't actually people still there. It's a weird way that the game checks. But there's no stuff there because it was undead, so now it's dead because it has no magic or has no undead leadership. We are unable to breach Smacia, of course. And this is very out of nowhere. Ihayuta, I probably pronounced that incorrectly, has appeared at our gates. They are a Katsina warrior charged with defending the land against monsters and enemies of all kinds. This is one of our national heroes. With his twin brother, Matselema, he has slain many great beasts and defeated many enemies. For a long time, he has been journeying through the underworld. However, now he has returned to serve the awakening god once more. Ahayuta is imbued with the power of lightning and can call bolts from a clear sky. He bears an enchanted war club and a spear with which he once beat an Athasaya in single combat. Spirits of nature, they are protected against mundane... as spirits of nature, they are protected against mundane weapons and will cause nearby plants. They have the Vine Shield effect, and they are sacred. So we got this guy. This is really cool little guy. Nothing like crazy interesting. But he's got a built-in ambidextrous duel, scenario. He's got a war club and a war spear. Kind of cool. The biggest cool thing about him is that he's naturally an heir too, which is probably going to be the highest heir that we have, right? So we're probably going to keep this guy. He's probably going to be very, very precious to us. We're probably going to use him to do, remote site searching and try to build up an heir income, and then maybe boost into heir later. Who knows? But yeah, that was with our having misfortune, very unexpected to actually get a national hero. We suck at gardening. Middle Abyssia has been permanently vanquished, and then Jagannath, wheel-turning king, god of Bandar Log, has been permanently vanquished. And we have 2 new famous heroes. One is our Wuya 5 here, right? That astounding victory has earned them the heroic ability of battle prowess, so attack skill, which is awesome. Base 18 attack skill, +3 from, or base 10, +3 from the growth, death power, right? +3 from experience, +2 from heroic ability, +4 from our bless, so 22. which is actually the firebrand has a really high, has a +3 attack, so pretty good. And don't forget, right? Like, you can repel with a firebrand, right? It's just you're only gonna repel against like claws and bites and things like that, but that's still a big deal, you know. If you have really high attack value, you can basically negate those things. Really awesome. So we've got that, and then actually our Mong 1 down here, because they've been going around killing undead squads, has a bunch of XP and is now has extraordinary agility and has gained ambidextrous, which is super strange. Ambidextrous gives the ambidextrous feat, right? Or extraordinary agility gives the ambidextrous feat and gives a +1 attack bonus and a +1 defense bonus. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. We might have to get some 2 little weapons on Mong Katsina and go poking around and doing stuff. I've actually, like, now that I've played with them a little bit more, I find the Mong Katsinas very interesting. I think, honestly, you could probably turn them into very, I say, efficient. The problem is that they're still 2 turns to recruit, and they're still relatively pricey, but they make very cheap I think cheap. They're kind of like Van Heers, except twice as expensive. More than twice as expensive. So not really like Van Heers at all, and not stealthy. Okay, they're not that great. Again, I just talk myself down from them, but you can turn them into thugs without the need for a lot of gear. Because that built-in Vine Shield, and because they have good buffing paths, you can get them to do a lot of stuff really quickly. So that's pretty cool. Mong 1 is heading back to Assad. Over here in Assad, we have Bozmos2 heading over to Zaburia. We're doing the Truffle Shuffle in Zaburia and Northia, continuing to recruit in Zaburia. And we'll talk about some of the bigger things here in a second. But I wanted to mention this. We actually have Jade Sork 3 here. I think we got them a turn or 2 ago, but I forgot to mention this. But they are death. This is a big deal for us. So Death 1 obviously isn't very good, but Death, you know, we don't have any Death income right now. If we can get some Death income, specifically, if we can get 3 Death income, right, we can just sit somewhere in Dark Knowledge spam and try to get as much of a Death income as we can, and then we can use that Death if we can make it into the late game. Right, we can actively boost into Death. We actually have some national summons that kind of broaden our paths a little bit, so those could be interesting to try to go for. Just now that we're not immediately dying, trying to think about the future. So we're gonna start site searching with Jade Sork 3, and we're gonna probably make this little circuit down here, and hope that we get lucky, and can find some death sites and go from there. Fingers crossed. So what else are we doing? So we'll talk about the kind of like big moves, right? We're not gonna, I entertain the idea of just trying to sit on Smacia and prevent this army from retreating. The problem is that Wuya 4 is not outfitted like the other Wuyas. We've got Armor of the Knights, which is great, but we don't have a lead shield, we don't have a lodestone, so magic resistance is significantly lower. Meaning he could still get sniped very easily by a Soul Slay, even with Iron Will up, right? Iron Will only gives +4, that's only going to be a 23. 23 is a far cry from 29, honestly, the way things work in this game. So I don't want to risk him if I don't have to. He's got a heroic ability, and he's got some good gear on him. So we're actually going to attack into Dardania and hope that we can just move out of the way. And then we're going to go on the offensive slightly. So we are going to send an army. It's this one. And the lag is becoming rare. So we're sending Wuya 1 with a bunch of Katsina and some. Damn, the lag is becoming real in this game. There's just so much, right? So many units, so many connections, so much everything. That is hard. So we have a bunch of Jade Maidens. We have a bunch of elite warriors. We've got a bunch of archers, etc. Mostly, we're just relying on the Katsina warriors to carry us here. We've got a whole shit ton of them. So we're going to be marching out with them. But we're also bringing a small communion, 8. And they're going to do basic buffs, right? They're going to do Power the Spheres. They're going to empower our Katsina. They're going to do Resist Magic and Personal Luck. And then they're going to do some Mind Burns, right? Just get out there and kind of Mind Burns. One of the big things, though, is we do have a couple of them doing Empower Magic Beings, which is going to hit our Katsina with +4 Strength and +1 Morale in a pretty large area of effect, honestly. That's why we're only doing like 2 of them. It's not going to hit all of our Katsina, but it'll hit a fair amount of them, right? So that's pretty good. And then we have a little bit of a gamble. So we're moving that army into Kiban, right, to threaten Smacia. With the assumption that the army in Kiban is either going to go to Smacia or is going to try to escape through Iprisia. Either way is fine, right? I don't really anticipate a battle here in Kiban, but the army that we're sending there is going to start pressuring things, okay? But this, and I don't, again, I don't trust these scenarios, but it says, right, that the river between Iprisia and Woven Plain is frozen. For whatever reason, I don't know why, the river between Iprisia and Kingdom of Dara shows as not being frozen. Same with Keben and Kingdom of Dara. So in theory, this army, these 60 units, can only travel to Chaco, to Finnica, or to Woven Plain. Or they can stay right where the fuck they are, right? So, under that assumption, we are moving into all of those positions. This is risky, but we're going to try it. We're sending an army under Wuya 9, and this army is our fucking Magic Being army, right? It's all of these ants. It's 48 ants. It's a bunch of Great Bears. It's a bunch of archers, right? And it's this Wuya, again, kitted out with, he doesn't have a... Oh yeah, he doesn't have one because I wasn't able to get him one. We don't have a... Yeah, we don't have a body armor to give him because Mong 1's walking around with... that's why we're making more, by the way. So this guy is sitting without a body armor. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess I'm okay with that. I think the reason why I'm sending him without body armor is because Wuya 1 is probably going to be fighting in territories where he can't get to a lab in the near future. But if all things go well, Wuya 9 will, right? So. And then, so if they attack Chaco or if they stay in Kingdom of Dara, Wuya 9 and his ants and his bears and his archers are going to fight them. Do they win that? I don't know, honestly. Like, I hope so. It's a larger force. We're going to have a lot of regeneration. But I honestly don't know. Truth be told, we might send this army at them and lose. And if that is the case, well, that's going to be kind of unfortunate. But I would assume that we will lose and still do a fair amount of damage to them. So hopefully that is going to be the case. But my assumption is that they're not going to attack Chaco, and they're not going to... They might try to reconsolidate this army onto Chaco. But if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure we have a larger army going to Keben. So, yeah, this is 103. Well, maybe not. So there might be a weird fight here in Chaco. Who knows? Regardless, there is the likelihood that they try to move elsewhere, right? Like try to raid in. Hey, this group's dead. Let's try. I would do that, right? I'd be like, fine, fuck it. We're gonna raid into your territory and do as much damage as we can. So we're sending Wuya 5 to Finnica to try to cut that off. He has already stood his ground and fought off those individuals before, so we're gonna see if that can happen again. And then over here in Woven Plain, Wuya 8 is going to try to do the same thing. I do not know if this is going to work out, right? But Wuya 8 is outfitted in such a way that he should be able to withstand any soul slays or anything like that. Same thing for all of my Wuyas right now. But I don't have a good AoE weapon, so he's just got this enchanted spear, and he might not be able to last long enough to deal enough damage with his enchanted spear and his stone birds and everything like that to kill enough people. He might get cut down. So I think he is probably the least prepared, but we'll see how it goes. Also sending Star 66. We have 66 Chaco and Star Priests already. That's pretty good. Up to Ablak, where the hope is that if things go well and Wuya 9's army is intact, he's going to walk up, hit here, 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 to Ablak, and then take a hopefully decent-sized contingent of Chacoan elite warriors and, a small handful of Katsina warriors, and etc., and attack into Bergamum and that type of stuff. Like, we want to hit Forest of Lost and then take Bergamum, while we're attacking into Smacia, taking back Smacia, taking Verdant Steppe, and all the while, keep in mind, Basia has attacked over here, is trying to crack Sitha, would like to crack Ashington. I think that's kind of like their thing. They're bringing in more units. Their big goal is to take Ashington. And I'm actually kind of okay with that. If they want to be the person that's kind of like connected to everyone else, that's fine. So I'm kind of interested in how that all goes. So I think that's probably gonna be where I wrap up this turn. We're doing some oh no, we need to talk about this. We are doing some forging, Kithrionic line pelts, lodestones, lead shields, that type of stuff, trying to get another set of gear at the ready just in case we need to. But another big thing that we're doing is we're doing some harvespexing. We've had Thaumaturgy 3 for a while now, but we haven't really had the chance to do anything else. But we're gonna do some harvespexing, and I think we're doing some augury. And this was a hard choice. This is a very hard choice for me. This is 43 research ability. This is a lot of research to lose at this point in the game for me, right? And this is a very, very greedy kind of stupid play. But like I said, there are some national summons that we get later on. Yayaponza Dance. Yayaponzas are kind of interesting commanders. And they are sacreds. They're cool. And then there is Coyote, right? Which is pretty awesome. And then there's another thing. Is it not Conjuration? I thought it was Conjuration. Must not be Fire as the base. Yeah, it's Death as the base. Contact Masawu, right? I guess that doesn't matter for the fire side of things. But we were talking about the death side of things earlier, right? That kind of concept, right? So there are reasons for us to be heavily interested in the idea of getting a good fire base, right? Of course, getting to this point would require us to kind of like boost, but I'm okay with our god getting boosted on things. Like, it's worthwhile to do that type of stuff. But anyways, that's a future type scenario. I know there's a lot of people that would argue just send your god out and start site searching. You're gonna site search nature, earth, and fire. And honestly, I probably would if I was not in the middle of this war. And I might actually do that in the next couple turns anyways. But for now, since I'm stuck here, I'm gonna... I can't... If my god dies, we're fucked, right? So I'm probably gonna leave him locked down for at least a little while. That's probably gonna be it. And then the Horror Specs, I think, again, you know, it's greedy, probably not the wisest choice, but we're doing it. Alright, I think that's it. I'm eyeing up Man over here. And this isn't like a new thing. I've been eyeing up Man for a while, but it seems like maybe they're actually beating King Gobia back, but not for a Phlegra. I don't know what's going on there. So we're going to have to try to keep an eye on things, and hopefully we can finish out this war with End in a positive manner. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. That's going to be it. Bye, everybody.